Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Has been quite some time since the last Fallout 4 stuff on the channel basically, but today's basically episode 0 and I'm gonna talk about the overhaul that we're gonna use, Unbogus Fallout Overhaul. And before you go on his page and check it out and stuff like that, I'm gonna read through mostly everything that the thing does basically. But before that, so it's in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna scroll through the plugins list, even though it's made with loot, you know. So even if you get the same stuff that I have, you probably will get the same results. So I go from index 1 to index 46. I stop at index 46, I go to index 90. I stop at index 90, I go to index 132. I stop at 132 and I go to the index 180. And from 180 here we have index 189. I didn't try out Ghoul's Revamped yet. I will do that later. But I don't think it should conflict or anything. I just have to see if it works with the CBBE Never Nude, you know, YouTube trouble stuff. After that we go through my mods in general. But before that, let's go over this. Upload August 10, last update was like 2 weeks ago. I think the guy is very active. Yes, he's answering your questions in the post section. Yes, so let's begin. It's basically a fairly extensive overhaul that will give you a more consistent, challenging and fun experience with many neat features, alright? I also have the Resh Scanali Unbogus Fallout Overhaul patches for specific stuff, like unique NPCs, Armorsmith Extended and Misc. Also some other compatibility patches. And I'm not sure, and of course the WAF's Unbogus patch, I think. Did I even download that? This is patch for using NPC level skin together for more hardcore experience. Nah. What's this? September 2018. I don't use these drugs, so I don't need this. Anyway. Yeah, let's start basically. So this gameplay overhaul is an attempt at making the game more fun and interesting with many new features like bullet and laser projectiles. Non-VATs, random crits, deadly combat, AI, life dismemberment, big perk alterations, harder stealth, a few restored cut items, new craftable attachments and items, NPC health scaling and ranges, food and gem alterations, new gems, fun loot boxes, faster melee and more. You will have a more challenging and fun experience where the game world won't feel like it revolves completely around you, and what matters the most is your perks, equipment and your own skill. Your level is mostly irrelevant. What's very important, by the way, the even better mod description mod, I think. It makes your game crash when you go into the armor workbench, so don't do that. I think that's that. I had a problem with that earlier, I got crashes all the time in the workbench. So let's start from weapons and equipment. Weapons will fire real projectiles, both bullets and lasers. Bullets are loosely based on real life statistics, and lasers are like laser blasters from your favorite cheesy sci-fi movies. Next to no performance impact. I already saw the in-game looks interesting, like when you shoot with a heavy machine gun in the night in the sky. Basically it's like bullet rain, you know, so it has bullet drop, very interesting. Each point of luck conveys a 0.5% chance to inflict random critical hit with any weapon, can be improved with perks. Armor values have been altered for most things. In general, armor pieces are weaker than normal, and certain outfit items may actually be viable options for once. You can relay in temporary turrets with the Poseidon turret relay grenade, fairly rare, but can be amazing support in tough battles if thrown in a good spot. Many alterations to almost every single weapon in the game, both player and NPC weapons. Even though there were alterations made, I think it's not a problem because I replaced all vanilla weapons in the game with new models. You know, for example, submachine gun now is a P90 and stuff like that. Because to be honest, I can't see the vanilla weapons anymore. I'm sick of them, basically. So basically, it's my favorite word now. I replaced everything in terms of vanilla weapons, like only weapons, not grenades or stuff like that. Automatic receivers do minus 15% less damage compared to their semi-automatic counterparts. Explosions are deadlier. Most things explode in a wider radius and nukes are quite massive. Duck and cover. Pulse grenades only work on non-organic targets. Interesting choice. But not a bad choice, but it's more realistic basically. New custom attachments, for example Dragon Breeze Receiver, Quad Missile Pod and Hellraiser. New craftables, for example the Discombulator grenades, Incendiary grenades and Bouncing Betty. NPCs will use up grenades, no more infinite grenade spam. That's very good. Vertibirds will, depending on their rank, fire various deadly explosive projectiles from their front cannons. Keep an eye on the sky. The Flamer can be equipped with a napalm tank, which shoots gravity-enabled long-reaching sticky flames that burn the ground for a duration. I saw that in the pictures above, it looks crazy good. Lower caliber weapons will not be able to dismember anything. The flare gun has custom attachments like combat flares, volatile flares or the very powerful lighting flares. Molotovs deal no impact damage but will burn stronger and for longer. Missiles fly much faster and have some trajectory drop. Homing beacons, which are craftable, will call down a massive devastating explosions, basically like the Fallout 76 counterpart, I guess. Recoil is more intense in general for firearms, but can be reduced. A Soltron head does not... I have to see how the recoil works, because I have a mod that does recoil. So I maybe have to deactivate that mod. But I'm gonna do that later in the mod manager. Because I think I can turn off the recoil separately. A Soltron head does not conflict any radiation damage to the player. What a weird feature it was. Indeed. Weapons will deal more damage when out of range. Tesla rifle is a high-end weapon with very high ammo efficiency and powerful upgrades. Always felt that the Tesla rifle was kinda weak. Alien Ballista fires slow-moving target-seeking projectiles. Exploding projectiles do use target-seeking, simply aim down the sights at something. Most guns are very loud instead of normal or loud. This will make NPCs notice gunshots a lot better and give you a bigger incentive to use a silencer. Beam splitters will be something you might want to use for a change, a good choice for short-range combat, but will suffer at longer distances. Double-barrel shotguns have increased range and deal more damage at a distance, and the long barrel has much smaller spread and increased range. Various name changes to weapons. For example, 10mm is now an N99 10mm and a laser is now an AAR9 laser. Some overpowered legendary effects have been fixed. For instance, wounding deals 5 damage over 10 seconds instead of 25 damage over 5 seconds. Incredibly broken in vanilla as it stacks and ignores all resistances. New legendary effects like Shocking, which inflicts bonus energy damage and has a small chance to knock targets down, or Freezing, which will freeze enemies that are below 10% HP. Tactical distraction cans and distraction grenades allow you to distract enemies to a certain location, useful for sneaky characters. Receivers typically work as following: hardened, boosted, like equals plus 50% and minus 15% recoil, and then powerful and advanced, you see the differences. This was done to make the game scale smoother and give some logic to receivers, and as a side effect, more guns and modification combinations are more viable than they normally would be. Melee damages are more intense, both dealt and received. One-handed weaponry use knife animations, which makes them faster. Ripper and Buzzblade do decent damage. Grognak's axe has gotten a juicy buff and can be upgraded to make it viable for longer. Unarmed power armor punches do the same basic damage as a plain power fist punch. You will find less ammo, mats and good stuff in general from various loot sources. Don't be afraid to spend your caps for supplies. Vendors will have less of rare ammo and more of common ammo. Indoor mines will have the same trigger radius as outdoor mines, and fusion cores have 300 health instead of 500. Krem's Tooth had a 2% chance to instantly kill any target. The radium rifle deals poison damage over time instead of useless radiation damage. Army helmets can be upgraded. Energy damage will almost always be more effective against robots and armor compared to physical damage. In vanilla it was kinda all over the place. Very good. Fatman's Murph attachment has been turned into Hellraiser, which will send out a barrage of powerful fireballs, aim at an angle upwards to cover a huge area. Okay. A few restored throwing weapons are available, like throwing knives, throwing hatchets, which are affected by big leaks or ninja. Certain clothing and armor items are more useful, and under armor are mostly all the same, so you have options on what to wear. Psst, wear road leathers. Okay, keeping that in mind. If it looks like you should be able to wear something with something else, and you will most likely be able to, like an army helmet and a gas mask together. Nice. Restored cut content of various gloves is available. They will provide very minor protection, can be upgraded with custom mods, and work with most outfits. A restored weapon named Space Blaster is available based on the Alien Blaster from Fallout 3/New Vegas, but using fusion cells. Found in Nuka World and comes with custom attachments. Shotguns are less effective against armor, but each pellet can crit individually, and can be used at far greater ranges than vanilla. Dog armor has actual armor values and is not purely cosmetic anymore. The acid soaker has been turned into oil splitter. It spits blobs of oil that can create a splotch of flammable oil on the ground that can be shot and ignited. The plasma gun's flamethrower conversion shoots regular flames and uses flamer fuel, making it actually usable and not costing you your life savings in plasma cells in 30 seconds. Legendary drops may contain a wider range of armors and also clothing items like hats and outfits, which is great for finesse users, and less junk like tire irons or pipes. That's very good. The modified bowling ball launcher what? Deals moderately high damage and will knock down most targets on hit, and the special ammo is easier to craft. And more that we probably find out in game. Perks. Oh god. Some perks have been repositioned on the perk chart. Alterations to many perks, making some bad perks useful and rebalances overpowered ones. New perks like Luck of the Irish, Critical Thinker, Brutal Tactics, Shotgun Surgeon or Finesse. Passive healing perks work in combat. Several companion perks have been changed to be more interesting, useful or simply fix bugs. Paint Rain will work outside power armor like it always should have, not against big targets like Deathclaws however. Ghoulish has been turned into Rat Child, which gives you increasingly powerful HP regeneration based on how many rats you have. Aqua Boy and Girl only has one rank. It grants the vanilla buff from both ranks and 40% faster swimming, but does not grant water breathing because you're not an Agonian. Refractor will grant you increasingly powerful damage reduction, while above a certain amount of health, useful against surprise attacks, mines, rockets and possible mini-nukes. Toughness will additionally grant a bleed resistance, and rank 5 will decrease incoming damage, based on how many enemies you face at once. Where was I? Oh, at Blitz. Blitz will additionally grant you increased movement speed at all times. Moving target will grant you an increasingly high chance to dodge any attack at any time. Medic gives you 20, 40, 60, 100% additional healing and rat removal. This means that rank 4 will have the same additional effectiveness as vanilla rank 2. Blah blah blah. And then Medic rank 2 and 3 will additionally increase the duration, effectiveness of medics and redics, and rank 4 will grant you damage reduction when below 25% health, which gets even stronger if facing 3 or more enemies while it happens. Rat resistant has been turned into toxic tolerant and grants you radiation and poison resistance. Oh yeah, I remember the Mirelurk Queen poison is like deadly. Sneak is slightly less effective at hiding you in plain sight. Rank 2 and 3 no longer disable traps or mines, and rank 5 lets you ignore floor-based traps. Ninja only applies to one hand and unarmed weapons, and additionally grants you faster movement speed while sneaking and makes you a bit harder to see in dark each rank. Critical Thinker will increase your chance of dealing non-VATS critical hit per point of luck. Luck of the Irish grants you higher luck depending on how low your health is. Action Boy or Girl additionally gives you increased jumping height while sprinting and decreased fall damage with each rank. Demolition Expert will not give you a grenade trajectory. This was done partly to make it harder and also due to some new throwable items breaking the trajectory completely in a very annoying way. Demolition Expert 2 and 5 will additionally reduce incoming explosion damage by 10 and 20%, better than it might sound at first. Magazines and bobbleheads have various alterations. For example, Speech Bobblehead makes passing speech checks slightly easier. Ballistic, heavy melee and unarmed and energy bobbleheads will give you 5% respective damage instead of plus 25 crit damage, and medicine bobblehead gives you a 10% additional effectiveness to both Stimpaks and Redaway. Sniper will increase your ranged sneak attack multipliers. Lead or lead belly will slowly purge radiation from your body over time when you're below certain total amounts of rats. Very useful for food items and minor irradiation. Yeah, I hate that, so I'm probably gonna get that. Life Giver grants passive slow healing each rank, and rank 3 gives you increasingly powerful regen as your health drops lower. Nerd Rage triggers earlier and has stronger effects. Scrounger 4 has a 15% chance to give you all lost ammo back when firing the last loaded round in your weapon, instead of a 5% chance. Finesse allows you to deal greatly increased damage with small firearms and melee to a smaller extent when below a certain amount of damage and energy resistances. Shotgun Surgeon buffs crit chances and crit damage with all types of shotguns, including laser splitters. Iron Fist additionally increases damage with unarmed power armor punches significantly, guaranteed to make you at least 72% more badass. Covert Operations is now actually... Wait, what? Covert Operations magazines now actually improve your stealth. In vanilla it only very slightly reduced your movement noise. The intimidation perks are now intended for stealthy users. If a target is not attacking you and you get the drop on them up close, you will always succeed in pacifying the target. You need to get very close to humans and moderately close to anything else. You will start the game with local leader rank 1 and 2. I love that. This is the cleanest way to give you access to functions I believe should not be locked behind perk points, and more. Food and Champs. Food will do their healing over a much longer time. Don't bring a snake into a gunfight. Stimpaks heal a fixed amount of 60 HP and 20% limp health. MedTech bandages will heal a fixed amount of 30 HP and 50% limp health, and will provide high bleed resistance for its duration. I need to drink something really quick. Stims work 5 times slower and Redaway works 20 times slower. Various things have altered heal rates. In general, you want to actually cook food and not just binge on purified water. New custom gems like Truffle Mantids, which will highlight corpses, Cat Eye, which will grant you extra powerful night vision, and Rushing Water, which will grant you a temporary movement speed buff. Has a cap, this ain't skooma. Stealth Boys last 2 minutes instead of 30 seconds like in New Vegas. A Dick Tool has been turned into Second Wind. It grants you massive health regeneration and various buffs at the cost of 100% addiction rate. There are no ways to cure yourself of addictions except finding a doctor. Perfectly Preserved Pie grants you 30% plus 30% XP gained and 1 luck for 12 hours. X111 grants you very powerful rat resistance and slowly removes rats for a long duration. There's a craftable cure for the infamous mole rat disease, only shows up if you have the disease. Nice. Because I wanna probably use Curie and maybe make a new overhaul for her soon. Like starting with modding again, basically. Unspoiled versions of pre-war food will be prefixed with preserved instead of nothing. You can tell them apart. Very good. Unspoiled pre-war food will have some extra benefits and have greatly increased value. Very good. Most recipes that require dirty water now require purified instead. All drugs that utilize big needles hurt you slightly on use. Ouch. That's an interesting change, to be honest. Needles hurt. Nice. And that most recipes require dirty water instead of purified. I love that. Always disliked it when you need purified water. X cell lasts 6 hours instead of 2 minutes. For such an incredibly rare item, it should be at least somewhat useful indeed. Lunchboxes. The list the lunchbox can pick from is much larger, like random clutter, valuables, useful materials, etc. Lunchboxes spawn 5 random items instead of 1. Lootbox. Lunchbox may spawn various grenades. Lunchboxes may spawn mats and shams. Lunchboxes may give you a small amount of random ammo. If you're lucky, you may even get rarer ammo like missiles or fusion cores. Lunchboxes may explode into a nice heap of caps flying all over the place. If you pick one cap up, you get them all at once. Nice. You may occasionally find deployable lunchboxes as loot. This was done to prevent the player from running out of lunchboxes to open after a while. Wait, what? Oh, you may occasionally find deployable lunchboxes. Oh, and containers, basically. That's nice. Interesting idea. NPCs and health. NPCs have a field of view of 145 instead of 190. Good change. NPCs are far more aggressive and they will do their best at ending you. Interesting choice, but sounds good. NPCs' ability to block your melee strikes is greatly improved. Tactics and timing is important for melee brawls now. Humans and super mutants can be dismembered without killing them. Interesting. NPCs will deal less bonus damage, for example legendary enemies or unique foes. Good choice. Realistic, to be honest. NPCs will engage you from further away, which also means they will engage each other from further away. You can use this to your advantage. Player health, base health is 100 instead of 80. Health per endurance point invested is 20 instead of 5. Nice. No bonus health from leveling up, player or NPC. Oh, okay, I get that. No additional invisible bonus from endurance and player level. Oh, okay. NPCs will have more narrow health ranges, so no raiders with bloatfly health nor gunners with tankbot health. Okay, good. Balancing alterations to nearly every single variation of every single enemy. Wait, what? Balancing alterations to nearly every single variation of every single enemy. My poor fingers. Oh my god, dude, I feel you. There's so many variations that you need to change. Jesus Christ. Super mutants, behemoths, glowing NPCs, ghouls and children of Adam will have varying degrees of health regeneration. Legendary enemies will take 35% less damage, but if they have health regeneration, and that regeneration will be severely reduced. Locational damage changes to most things. In general, things will take less limb and armor damage and more head weak spot damage. Ghouls are fairly tough to kill, can have their heads taken off without dying, and can inflict both poison and radiation damage. Aim for the legs. This sounds super scary, yet you can give them headshots and they still run at you. That sounds... oh my god. Can't wait until that happens and a ghoul kills you without a head. Synths can have their heads blown off without killing them, and they take very little additional head damage. Aim for the legs or arms. That's also very cool. Only enemies that should be tanky are tanky, like super mutants, behemoths, deathless. Humans are fairly squishy depending on what armor they are wearing. Yeah, I had that problem if you remember, in my old playthrough. Deathclaws die very quick, super mutants die very quick as well. had the problem in Fallout 76. You basically kill everything very quick. Workshop turrets will not use... Oops. Workshop turrets will not use up any energy, but you still need to wire them up. That's good. Human NPCs have varying chances of processing, I mean, and using a stealth boy. Of course, a lowly raider will very rarely have one, but it can happen. NPCs will scale to your level. That's very good, which means they will get better gear to keep the game more challenging later on. That's good. Human NPCs will not be able to perform kill moves on the player. No more lame insta-kills out of nowhere. That's also very good. Dogs can grab the player by the leg just like they can grab any other NPC. Oh god. Deals no damage but leaves you very vulnerable for a few seconds. Huh. Bloodbugs can give you the suck from any angle. Turning your back won't help. Oh god, I hate bloodbugs. Raiders can rarely sometimes summon a suicidal mole rat to rush you. Oh god. Exploding in your face if you don't react quickly enough. Certain creatures have altered movement speeds, but bug types are especially fast. Oh yes. Some unique boss enemies will put up more of a fight with better gear and stats. Interesting. Brahmin will shut up for once, praise be. Nice. And now miscellaneous. Comes with unofficial patch fixes. For what this mod touches, not everything unofficial patch does, of course. Kumbal monkey toy trap triggers much faster. Now it's an actual threat. 0.5 seconds instead of 3. Oh god. Limbs no longer heal on their own after 30 seconds. Default jumping height is 150 instead of 90. That's very good. I saw that in game while I tested. It's not as high as it might sound. Vanilla jump height can't even get over a picket fence. Correct. The screen effect of getting hurt is a lot more noticeable instead of gentle blur. Getting hurt hurts. Stealth is more difficult with longer search times, longer sight distances and various other tweaks. You will no longer see hostile blips on your radar, no more magic senses for you. That's cool. Workshop lights have been tweaked to have wider and softer light. There is a GIF in the image section. That's cool. I had a mod for that, so because this mod changes it, I can deactivate the mod. I think it was softer workshop lights or something. Bartering will considerably more difficult. You will want to invest in charisma and cap collector if you want to get the most out of trading. I always invest a lot in charisma actually, so yeah. Shipments are cheaper, especially for common materials, and lockpicking is harder, but picks will break much slower. It requires very gentle fiddling to pick, so pick up the optional easy pickings file if you use a controller or just don't like this change. But if you keep at it, it will be more satisfied whenever you open a lock. Ballistic weave is much weaker and only grants damage resistance, but the first two ranks are available from the start. Ballistic weave has an energy counterpart, aramid weave. Ballistic weave can be applied to most normal heads at reduced efficiency, and the Institute killer weave can be converted into a head version at a gem station. World radius have increased radius and volume compatible with anything since it... Wait, what? World radius have increased radius and volume compatible with anything since it only alters generic outputs. The rates you gain XP have been tweaked. Minus 50% cooking and crafting, minus 75% workshop building, and 200% for discovering new locations. That's a good change. No more exploiting. Power armor has times 5 the vanilla health, but also take 10 times as many materials to repair. VATS slows time by 70% instead of 96 and grants 50% damage reduction instead of 90. Yeah, but I don't use VATS, I use VAFs. But I will definitely balance this time slow this time and make it like cost more AP, because if it doesn't cost much AP it's too overpowered. You can take and use Mama Murphy's clothes and Gage's eye patch. Followers take no fall damage and are much better at stealth. Very good. Animals won't drop caps or other unfitting loot. The windmill generator is as powerful as a large generator, cheaper to make but uses up more space. The fusion generator uses up fusion cores instead of nuclear material and needs some more materials, but requires a lower rank of science to access. Radiation storms are more intense. Pop some Redex or get indoors. Once the lighting starts, you can't sleep through it. The timer for cells to reset is much higher than vanilla, which will affect how often areas you have already been to get new NPCs and loot. Does not affect random spawns. Very good. The radius which Minutemen can be called with the flare gun is 4 times bigger. Now you can get fire support where you actually need it. That's cool. The volume of certain workshop items like turrets and generators are a lot quieter. Also good. Ragdolls receive less force from all sources, especially explosions. Very good. The weight limit for grabbing, because I hate that when like the stuff you kill with a grenade, they fly all over the place. The weight limit for grabbing physical world objects is higher. No corpse should be too heavy to drag. Standard player carry weight is 300 rather than 200, and you gain plus 15 carry weight per point of strength instead of plus 10. There's just way too much junk to carry around. Indeed. Stealth is a lot harder and will require significant investment to make easier. Cap stashes contain a lot more caps and usually extra small bits of loot. Bobby bin boxes also contain bonus tiny loot. Workshops wires reach much further, 4000 units instead of 1100. Underwater screen effects are far less blurry, very good. Some custom turrets may be crafted in the workshop, for example minigun turret, Tesla turret, or baseball launcher turret. Cool. Alien animatronic turrets, whatever that is, may be crafted in the workshop. Beware that it might take some time for them to load in the crafting menu if you are outside Nuka Vault. And starter tips. But let me quickly check something. Just wanted to deactivate this because I just read that apparently I don't need the power lines. Few starter tips. I can read them through, but I I'll probably forget them anyway. The very first couple of levels can be tough, but keep at it. Combat gets better and more fierce not long after the beginning. Don't be afraid of spending your caps on ammo and supplies. This is what it's balanced for, so get shopping. Bring plenty of food with you when you venture out. This will be your primary source of healing outside of combat. A certain enemy is giving you a lot of trouble with a powerful weapon they are wielding. Aim for their arms with a high caliber weapon with lasers or explosives to cut them down to size. Make sure to check out the altered perk tree thoroughly. Many perks have been altered and you might miss something fun. Don't be dissuaded by missing with real bullet projectiles early on. You will adapt and it's very fun and satisfying once you get used to it. I saw that in my testing that it's very satisfying. Stealth seems too hard. Invest into the stealth related perks and agility if you want to be a sneaky character, otherwise be prepared to get spotted quite easily. Sneaky characters can make excellent use of stealth boy devices. Make sure to use them if you want to be extra sneaky, especially outdoors during daytime. Don't forget to aim for limbs with higher caliber weapons to possibly cause life dismemberment, especially against ghouls, synths and super mutants. Explosive work too. Be careful where you go and who you piss off if you're not prepared for the consequences. Super mutants can rip low-level characters apart, and the Brotherhood of Steel can rip, well, anyone apart. A smart wastelander might lure two hostile factions to fight each other and then reap some easy rewards after the chaos. Keep getting decked by explosives, try investing in some anti-explosion armor mods or the demolition expert perk, or both. Always bring a few medtech bandages and maybe a hydro or two with you. Unless you invest in medic, stimpaks won't heal your limbs very effectively. It's recommended to bring at least one heavy weapon with you, like a minigun or missile launcher. You never know what might show up around the next corner. Remember to make use of mines. Run away if overwhelmed and place one around the corner to leave a nasty surprise for your pursuer. Don't let them see you. Yeah, that's interesting. Don't let them see you place it, or they will avoid it entirely, almost entirely every time. Like when they see you place a mine. Use champs if you need a boost during a tough fight. There's no shame in slamming some medics or psycho if your life depends on it. Robots tend to be quite powerful, but you can aim for the arms, legs and weak spots to make your efforts easier. Certain areas may be more dangerous than before. A good example would be Saugos Ironworks, where the forge reside. Power armor is very recommended against the boss. Yeah. I remember in Horizon it was also pretty hard, the forge boss. Investing in endurance is important if you want to be able to take as much as you give. And check out the miscellaneous files section for several optional files you can use to tweak certain features you might not enjoy. But I recommend playing without any and adapting to the various features instead. In order for the napalm flamer effect to look decent, you will need to raise your particle limit to do so. Go to blah 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 blah. Yeah, I will do the particle stuff later. I probably go on 7500 to make it balance. So as you see, weapon mods will not be compatible without a patch. Be careful, as they can easily ruin the intended balance otherwise. It may be a no-brainer or a no-go for people when they can't use weapon mods, but don't beware, there's still some weapons you can use. I will show you later. Armor and clothing mods will not be compatible unless they are purely cosmetic. They will have much higher armor ratings than any other items in the game. Power armor mods will require a patch to work, for sure. Survival mode related mods should be fine if you load them after the overhaul. Food and healing mods will not be compatible, of course. Companion mods will be compatible. No companion records have been altered directly. I recommend loading them before the overhaul anyway. NPC mods will be incompatible. They will most likely have too much health and their levels won't scale to get better gear over time. Weapon skin mods should all be compatible if you load them before the overhaul. Every equivalent weapon has the changes necessary to support skins. Yep. So for compatibility patches, I got the 10mm SMG mod, right? Just to show you really quick. It's this one. I got that. I got a bundle of tape that also adds, as you see, quite some weapons. I added the crossbows of the Commonwealth, of course, because crossbows, you know. I don't think I added this one, no. But I added the 6 Sour P22, 220 I mean. This one is added. DLC level list integration is of course also added. The G36 too. The Watts laser gun is not added, I think, because it was bugged, for me at least. Backpacks is added, service rifle, 6 hour MPX and animated Chem 3 done. To the weather we come later. And also there is here some compatibility patches and stuff like that. Right, for the armory mod, fusion cells, DTF, some other guns. I got the handmade rifle extension. Handmade rifle extension and caravan shotgun though. I got these. And from the highly recommended mods I got some stuff. I have to see if I'm gonna set up sim settlements later in the game. Maybe, I'm not sure yet. But probably, because he's recommending it, Of course, I got Settlement Menu Manager, I think. Start Me Up I got. Bullet Time, Fallout 4 Headkeys. Commonwealth Warfare Explosions. I think Gun Sounds I have a different mod for. Settler Sandbox expansion sounds amazing. Place Everywhere, Raw Input, Cross Grid Overhaul, of course. Console Name Fix. And full dialogue interface. Yeah, so that's the mod. Let's all say thank you to Ethical Loon for creating this. And I'm gonna check that out probably tomorrow when I'm gonna record it. Because tonight, as you see, it's a little bit too late. So let's go over mods, shall we? Ammo. Deactivated. Animation. I only have grab the damn mag, of course, button lowered weapons, swinging animated meat bags. The female walk animation is better, animated gems redone, the revolver reanimation pack from War Daddy, I think, and Battlefield 4 animation pack for the Beretta. Armor mods, I only have active the Cross Institute Tech Mask because I love that, and the Armor Smith Extended. Of course, all the other armor mods are not enabled because there's no patch for them yet. Also, it's not like I play in third person all the time, so yeah. Audio Misc, Sound of Silence, because I don't like the battle music in Fallout 4. And for sound audio we have Clicker Fight Ghouls, Reverb and Ambience Overhaul, of course, Ambient Wasteland, Commonwealth Warfare Realistic Gun Sounds and Bullet Cracks, and the Louder and Better version 2. And Project Reality Footsteps, Wasteland Codex, Wetness Shader Fix, Unofficial Fallout 4 patch, Cheat Terminal I have in case you get a bug with the quest items, you can add yourself quest items, because I'm not very good with the console. Clothing, I only have some eyewear. I think, not sure why the bikini is activated. Probably can deactivate that, but who cares. And JC Bikini never knew it, so I don't get in trouble on YouTube. Backpacks of the Commonwealth, Bobbleheads Fallout 4 edition, Companions only Deeper Thoughts Curie, because I never actually tried this. So this is cool, Expressive Curie. Valentine Reborn just in case, Amazing Fallout Freaks of course, and my Red Kate Overhaul. My own. Mobile mechanic, because I like that, like junk scrapping on the way, basically. I kinda need that, because I did that in Fallout 76 all the time. For crafting, I kept the build your own pool, do it yourself with clutter for shelves and bookcases, increased build limit enhanced, connectable electric poles, functional displays, invisible furniture. That's like basically markers, so your NPCs can use them. This is just a patch if you use an EMB that, for example, Institute and other places are not too bright. I don't even remember what ENB I use. I think it's Grimwolf ENB. Sanctuary Hills, Water and Roads being bridge remade. Waterwall, Blue and Translucent Water and Puddle Fix. I deactivated the Rust Belt and stuff like that because I'm using Spiffy's Ice Pick Overhaul. So we have basically a snowy game because I can't see the green anymore. For now, we have Wasteland Saloon Hair Texture Improvement, Get Out of the Way, Easy Hacking because I hate hacking. Then of course we have VEFs, Unlimited Survival Mode, so we can save the hotkeys, so we can use VEFs with Q. I deactivated the Combat Stalkers because I'm unsure if that works with the Overhaul. But I'm gonna try in the future and find out if this works. I'm gonna ask the mod author and then we can reactivate it. Of course, lootable crates, Start Me Up, Realistic Companions, conversions. Campsite, no more birds because I think the trees changed too, so that's fitting. Again, campsite, some patches, hair, face, body, oh boy. Yeah, ponytail hairstyles, Commonwealth cuts, basically Apache Sky hair. 512 standalone hair colors, then I have anime eyes, just because. One of the best mods is HN66 and Xagzom's distinctive teeth mod. Zella hair dye collection, 10 color standalone, just some hair color basic stuff, and wigs. KS hair does with add-ons, looking stranger eyes, elusive man's eyes, eyes of the universe is my mod, and the tattoos, immersion we have player command head tracking, combat alias fix immersive footsteps, yeah, CVSS, Pip-Boy flashlight. This one I actually wanted to reinstall. Hopefully the mod manager doesn't crash. Okay, custom. Whew. DLC. Recall. I probably have to activate this. I can't deactivate it, but I want the movement. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I saw that the recall is still hardcore, even with this mod, so they probably don't like bug each other out, I guess. Should be okay. New recipes is the mod that is supported by the Overhauls, like 17 new, 60 plus new recipes. We have still Minuteman Watchtowers. Better third rail, Diamond City expansion actually we have this time. So, wait a second. Got something on my glass. So basically, Diamond City is completely, or was completely expanded. So that's pretty good, I guess, right? Oh my god, this, I wish there was like a mod manager black mode. Jesus. Then we have settlement menu manager, raw input, settlement keywords expanded, and armor weapons keywords community resource, of course. Models, we have the Synth Overhaul, we have the Gore Overhaul, reload, enhanced blood textures, mean machine eyes, components redone, alternative human eyes, 4K moons, black titanium power armor frame, HD lockpicking interface retexture. Then we have very important mod. It's the potato textures 2K replacer, right? It's still, the game looks still good, but you get like basically 60 FPS in cities, and I don't crash anymore. At least half a year ago I didn't crash, you know, when I tested it. So it ran very good. Proper flyers and posters, CVBE, Ida body texture, of course, Caliente, blah blah blah. Valkyrie face, but only the face. I have Ida is for the body and Valkyrie for the face. And then Ghouls revamped. Gonna check that out, should work. NPC, what's your name? Singing settler, NPCs travel, and DLC level list integration. Overhauls, we have unique NPCs, of course, super important. You have in hotfix, looks menu, customization companion, of course, unique NPCs, creatures and monsters. That's new to me. Was like 4 GB big, the mod. Then we have all the Unbogus Fallout Overhaul patches, like the mod itself, patches, this G item sorting instead of Valdesilts like the old one, then some more patches, and a patch for the G36. Then this is in the patch category, but everything is disabled. It's like old Horizon stuff. Only thing we have in here is very important. It's the Weather Synergy merge pack. It basically puts vivid weathers and true storms together. And the compatibility patch for some stuff that has an installer basically. Boston FPS fix, that's very important. Faster workshop, I can confirm actually works. My workshop opened in 0.5 seconds, even though I have all the mods, you know. We have the pip pad, we have better settlers, sandbag fortifications, better warnings when settlements are being attacked, stackable brick walls, homemaker, thicket execution, CVC stat wasteland, caretaker floors and more. Howitzer, place everywhere, workshop ownership and attacks, conquest and settler sandbox expansion. So they basically also go upstairs and stuff. Very cool. And we got the power armor movement sounds. For quest we have the code, collector's guide, atomic radio, tales of the Commonwealth, atomic radio and tales of the Commonwealth, outcast and remnants, quest mod plus, and project Valkyrie. He said quest mods should generally work, but he said that enemies could be more tanky. But yeah. And the train, looking forward to that. That looks cool, because it's basically also like a settlement on a moving train. What else? DNX body tattoos, Dreadcade Overhaul, my own Warhammer 40k Dreadnought power armor pack, Chaos Hair Skyrim Exiles. It's like 3 or 4 hairs that you can get on the, I think it's called K-Pop Curie Overhaul. You know, my Curie K-Pop Overhaul has a little file that's called Chaos Hairs Skyrim Extra. Basically ports over 3 specific hairs from Skyrim. And user interface. So we have the HUD framework, the color map in 4K with locations for stuff, dialogue, camera sensitivity, nameplates, floating health bars, I love that, mod configuration menu, HUD++, better console, extended dialogue interface, looks menu and dev UI. Body slide, outfit studio of course. Deluxe makeup, radioactive science, extreme particles overhaul. Not sure if I'm gonna keep that one. I have to see. Cross grid go overhaul of course. Face light is good. A detailed ferrogold. Weapons. Let's skip to weather really quick. You see true storms and vivid weathers, right? And they are being brought together with that merge patch thing. And then we had a lot of weapons. Basically everything is disabled, but I have the, like, I need some specific stuff. For example, the P90 is not balanced, right, for the game itself, but I have something called the modern weapon replacers. So for example, there is the here the modern weapon replacer FNP90 mod installer. It basically overwrites all the P90s / submachine guns in the game. So instead of later on we will probably meet the mafia guys, you know, the Triggermen, they all have P90s instead of submachine guns, right? So this basically then asks you what you want to like overwrite. So for example, for me, I used only the submachine overhaul, like, so submachine guns are P90s, but it says without leveled list integration. It's very important that you choose no leveled list integration, because if you choose leveled list integration and click on yes please do it, you basically have not only submachine guns being P90s, but you also have the original, like the P90 on itself in the game world. and you don't want that because of balance reasons. So for all these weapon replacers, you use the no leveled list integration. There's also an all-in-one replacer. You can try it if it works for you, but I didn't want the all-in-one didn't really work for me, so I did it manually. So basically we have replacers for specific weapons. We have the Benelli, the Macmillan plasma energy weapon, the accelerator, service rifle RPG, Benelli RA70 accelerator, Tech 9, P90 Beretta, and stuff like that. So we probably won't see any vanilla weapons in the game anymore. Yeah, that's it basically. If you have questions, feel free to, I was about to say tweet me, but I mean Twitter, who uses that, right? But I'm always on my Twitter basically. The other thing could be just write me a comment. Mostly if I'm able to, I answer every comment on YouTube. And I also have a Discord if you want to join. It's in the description. And if you want to support me because of my modding, as you see, I have 2 fully voiced companion mods out right now, Vermilion, Frost and Europa, and I'm working on one big companion right now as well. And if you want to support me in any way, you know, I don't really like to talk about this, but the donation button is on the Nexus on my profile. There you can basically help me out if you want. Before this video you also see my new apartment finalized, basically my very own first apartment, if you want to check that out. But yeah, I think the first video with all these mods active is probably tomorrow. So for me it's now 11 PM Monday, December 3. Yeah, on Tuesday you should see the first video or videos coming out. But yeah, thanks for watching. And I see you guys in episode 1, I guess. Yup. Bye. Tschüss.